Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers, sisters, friends, and the foes out there, and welcome to a very special episode of the Blood Brothers podcast with your host, Dilly Hussain. Before I introduce today's guest, I want to remind all the avid podcast listeners that you can find this episode and all 3 seasons on all the major audio platforms. And if you're tuning in via YouTube, don't be cheeky, do remember to click subscribe to the 5 Pillars YouTube channel. Today, I'm honored to be joined by the press secretary of the interim head of the Bangladeshi government, Professor Muhammad Yunus, and that's none other than the erudite and celebrated journalist, Shafiqul Alam. Assalamu alaikum. Shafiqul Bhai, how are you?
I'm fine.
Honored to have you on.
Thank you.
How are you finding your new role?
It's quite tough in a sense that there are a lot of expectations, and it's a new start, a lot of political parties hope that we will set some examples, and then from there, and we need to roll out some reforms, do some real meaningful reforms, which can then lead to a political settlements, which eventually will restore democracy here. So a lot of challenges.
How was the process, or how did you feel when you were approached for this position?
I'm honored because Professor Yunus is the most celebrated and most, I would say, I would say the biggest Bangladeshi that we have here. So he has set a high standard for every Bangladeshi here. So, and I have been covering him for many years, and I have seen how he love this country, how patriotic he is, and also the kind of contribution he has for the Bangladeshi society. I actually had some doubts about how Grameen Bank that he set up helps the rural poor, but when I started going back to my village in the Northeast, and I had a change in mind, and I have seen how it helped millions of rural poor, including some of my closest relatives who are very poor.
Now, before we started filming, I assumed he was under a lot of stress. You said no, he's actually quite relaxed and chill.
Yes, he is quite relaxed. He takes it quite easy, and he thinks that things are moving in the right directions. And we have seen if you consider. If you see the cacophony on the social media, you may be deluded into thinking that, okay, things are not...
I'm referring to that.
Things are not stable here, but I would say things are very much stable, calm. We had a revolution, and you have seen how smooth the transition. Yes, obviously there were some hiccups in the initial days when there was no government. Between 5th of August and 8th of August, there was no government. And also police was missing in their duties in the first week of our government. But then we took charge, and eventually things, I think, started to improve. And right now, I would say we are very much things are very much under control. And you have said that have you seen any violence? You are here for more than 2 weeks, I think about 2 weeks. And it's quite Bangladesh, and we have rolled out important, we have set up key commissions, reform commissions, and that is also, they are also holding dialogues with a lot of stakeholders, with civil society groups. They invited political parties to submit their reform proposals.
He recently met with all the political parties, right? Am I correct?
Yes. It's a continuous dialogue with the political party. They are our partners, so obviously we hold dialogue. The interim government hold dialogues with them all the time.
Is there any kind of deadline or expectation of when we could see an election?
We haven't said anything about the date of the elections. But other than that, we are saying there are 2 things which is going parallel. One is we are going to set up the election commission, and then they are going to prepare a voter list, which is quite vital, because over the last 15 years, when the dictatorship was in power, there was all the votes, all the elections were rigged.
vote rigging.
And also young boys and girls, they never went to the voting booths. And many were not even in the voting list. And there are fake voters because a lot of people who died, their names are still there. So we have to prepare an accurate voter list. That is one part we have to do. And that is going to be done by some election commissioners. We have to bring these elections, we have to pick from the neutral, independent people who are respected by the society. We'll bring them as the election commissioners. And they are going to prepare this. This is one part we have to do. Another part is this, there are 6 commissions that has been set up. There is a commission of constitution, another one is judiciary, then election commission, another one, civil courtesy, then police. Like at least 5-6 commissions are working, and these 6 commissions are going to, like in a by 31st of December, these commissions are going to submit reports to the interim government, and by December 31st, we'll get the hypocrite reports from them. And then what this government is going to do, take the report and then discuss with all the political parties, with all the stakeholders in our society. So then there will be consensus will be reached, like what kind of reforms we have to execute or implement. And these implementation of these reforms are actually going to dictate when the election can be held.
I mean, in terms of, is there a general rough indication of what is actually the voter number? How many people are actually eligible to vote? Do we have any kind of indication?
What we have seen is that like a lot of young people who are like even in their mid 30s, they haven't actually like cast their vote over the last 15 years. They haven't. So we don't know. Maybe like but there will be like more than 100 or 120 billion voters.
Wow, that's just a huge number.
Yes. And there are like a lot of young people, and obviously there are many, like some 63% of the country population live in the rural areas. You have to go there, visit their polls, include their names in the voting list, and then give them the chance to say, okay, whether there has to be some scrutiny, whether we have included everyone, because there are if some people say, okay, we are not included, that means like a setback. So we have to include everyone in the voters list, and that's quite a real challenge. The idea is to make sure everyone who is eligible to vote is included in the voters list.
Over 100 million voters, and especially talking about the rural areas, logistically, that's very resource heavy.
Yes.
Is that one of the challenges?
That's quite a challenge, yes. But I think we are up to that job. It's like Bangladesh is like there is a fantastic rural road networks. I think you have been to Sylhet and you have seen like you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
But thing is, you have to go door to door, make sure everyone is counted. And it may take months, maybe 6 months or 9 months. But we will make sure that everyone is included in the voters list.
Off topic, because many British Bangladeshis, more than 90%, are from Sylhet. What are your thoughts of Sylhet as an area, as a district, as a region?
I think Sylhet is a fantastic place. Yeah. I visited Sylhet quite a lot of time. I maintain a diary, 2 diaries, write quite frequently on Facebook. One is about Dhaka and how Dhaka is changing. Another is villages, and that's 2 diaries, like a Dhaka diary and village diary. So I write about Sylhet way of life. I love the scenic beauty of Sylhet. That's very good. There was at one time there was this, stone quarry guys. There was massive stone quarry. It's everywhere. Like it almost obliterated some of the rural parts of Sylhet, and that has been stopped. And I'm good. It's good. Maybe it has cost some jobs, like thousands of jobs, but I think like we don't need these jobs. And Sylhet is the I would say the best place for eating out.
Yeah.
If you go like in Bangladesh, restaurant culture is relatively new. Like in Dhaka, you'd find some good restaurants. But if you go to other cities, you won't find. But Sylhet, because of the diaspora they have, they come, they usually don't want to give hassles to their relatives. They usually dine out.
This is true.
And some of the food, we say, like in Bangladesh, the eateries, the restaurants are called
hotels. Yes.
And they are fantastic.
They are.
Like some of the, there is a Panch Bhai and there are...
Panch Bhai is one of my favorite places to eat.
Yes, it's fantastic. And there are like some of the fishes, like especially freshwater fish, it's amazing. I love it.
Hilsha, Raumas,
Yes.
Fabia.
Yes.
You like all these fishes?
And also like the varieties that are generally from Sylhet areas, like they are very delicious. I just love it.
Right, back to more serious issues now.
Yes.
What does a day-to-day work day look like for you? What does it involve?
It's like apart from rolling out these commissions, we have to do daily firefighting, daily jobs. Like there are just weeks after this government took over, there was major floods in an area which haven't seen floods for decades. Like this year is there are very localized floods. We know that there are floods in Sylhet. In recent years, there are quite a lot of floods in Sylhet, greater Sylhet region. But this year, there were floods in southeast region. We saw floods in northern Moimansingh and Sherpur is just close to the Garo Hills. And we saw some, at least 2 or 3 floods in Sylhet itself. And some parts in northern Kurigram, just on the mighty Brahmaputra bands, like a lot of flooding there. So these are the challenges we faced after we this government took over. It's quite enormous challenges. Like, when there is a flood, there is a disruption in supply chain, and that spikes cost, essential goods, prices of essential goods. So we have to look into this, because regulation brings in hope that your country will have a better and fantastic political solution. But people have to live every day. People have to eat. People have to care about the cost of living. So we have to think about it. We have to do all these sort of things every day. And Professor Yunus, I can tell you, he works 7 days a week. Some days, he starts meeting people at 8, 9, and it ends in 10 in the night. It's quite it's quite amazing that he is 84 and he is still meeting people. He is a good listener. He listens to people. He hears from all perspectives, try to gather as much information from as many experts as possible. And that's a great sign. It's a learning curve for me.
When you talk about stakeholders, obviously Sheikh Hasina's gone. The student wing of her party, Chhatran League, has recently been prescribed as a terrorist organization. Is there room, or will there be room, for Awami League in any future elections or political process? Should we expect a ban? What's the situation of that?
I think the Council of Advisor, Council of Advisor means the cabinet. Cabinet is going to make a decision here. But right now, in the current form, we don't see any role in the current under the current Awami League leadership. There was a lot of hundreds of young boys, some as young as 10, 12 were killed. And there was not a single time, I haven't seen any Awami League. Maybe today I saw what the top leadership says sorry, they regret it, or there is any remorse
for the crimes committed.
The crimes committed. So the kind of anger among the people, what you have done, and there is not even the Awami League guys, Awami League top leadership, its mid-ranking leadership, even its grassroots leadership, and then comes the people who are close to Awami League, the intellectuals, all its supporters. There is a denial, which is very hurting. you have seen how many, like there are thousands, like millions of footages out there. You can see how police brutally kill this, and who actually gave the order. We know, like this is what happened, but there is no remorse, there is no regret.
Where does that arrogance come from?
I don't know. Maybe they were deluded. There was a massive delusion. They believe their own story, that they have done amazing thing to the nation, amazing development, and they just were blinded. But eventually, like when you have like a total carbon, freedom of speech and freedom of praise, you actually didn't know what the people were actually thinking.
Charity is just a band-aid solution. In 2024, charity alone isn't enough. In 2024, is donating enough? Because giving charity to the oppressed only treats their symptoms. It's like putting a plaster over a deep wound. It's important and needed, but it doesn't fix the problem. But speaking up against the oppressors can cure the disease. Help and support organizations like Human Aid and Advocacy that do both. Humanitarian aid is crucial, but fighting for justice brings real change. As Muslims, it's our duty to stand up for the truth. Do your part by supporting Human Aid and Advocacy.
Why was Islamophobia? I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Why in a Muslim majority country did Awami League have very kind of specific attacks and approaches towards the religion of the majority of the people? Why do you think that was the case? Because that's very unfortunate to think that in a Muslim majority country, whereby from my observations and my experience of visiting the country very regularly, that the Hindu minority and other minorities have lived generally in peace and security, right? But why there was a level of state Islamophobia? I would describe that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where did that come from? Do you feel this kind of like?
I don't know, but
Am I wrong in my observation?
We are hearing it from some of the religious people. We hear it, like they said, like, and obviously there are like Islamists group, even some of the political parties were brutally suppressed.
Namely Jamaat Islam.
Jamaat Islam during the 15 years of when Hasina was in power. And there are like some researchers are now like, there is a guy called Abul Kalam Azad. He did some research like on the kind of operations that police carried out on something. Like some people are arrested for months and kept in secret prisons, and then all of a sudden they would say these people we arrested them on this day, and they were like I don't know, like what happened is that I think it coincided with also the war on terror.
Yes.
If you like
a lot of the narrative and the language was pretty much similar to George W. Bush.
Yes.
And Tony Blair.
Yes. There is when you lack legitimacy, like you don't have any like mandate to rule the country. What do? You will seek supports from all sorts of outside powers. And you know, like how you can get it, like if you cater to their, like the kind of words they want to listen, like this is things. Like it's quite amazing. Like personally, we heard that Sheikh Hasina was a religious woman. She's a devout Muslim. That is the story they sold to the whole country.
Sure. Talking of external powers, one of the things we saw pretty much imminently after August the 5th was fake news of communal tensions, Hindu genocide. A lot of it was coming from Indian pundits and Indian media. We're not talking about anonymous accounts here. We're talking about prominent pundits and outlets that have tens of millions of followers claiming that there was communal violence against Hindus, there's genocidal violence against Hindus. Professor Yunus is an American agent that's being propped up by the Zionists, and that in fact there's going to be an Islamist takeover. There's a whole variety of things.
Yes.
How as the press secretary have you been dealing with this? Because I know there's a social media bubble and then there's reality. But sometimes it can overlap, right? Because people believe things online and they go out there and act upon it. How have you managed this fake news and this attempt by certain powers and entities to create a tension where there actually probably isn't there to the nowhere near the extent to what they're claiming?
I think our strategy was to invite all the journalists from India, from the West to come and visit Bangladesh.
Did they
like
visit?
During the last 15 years, like there was they put all the obstacles to Western journalists or from visiting Bangladesh. But here, what our strategy from the very first day was to invite all the journalists, come, see what actually happened.
Did they come?
Yes, a lot of, and it helped. Like some of the Western journalists, they returned. They did amazing stories about the disinformation campaign, the disinformation which is out there, and our stand is quite clear. We think that this is we know how many these stories are there. Like this is quite a lot of misinformation about Bangladesh, what sort of country it has, and also there are a lot of disinformation, massive disinformation about violence against the Hindus. And we asked Indian journalists come and visit and go and meet these people. We don't say that there some attacks haven't happened. Some attacks have happened, but was there any? The big question was there any religious motivation there or the political motivation?
Or criminal motivation?
For criminal motivations, because some many Hindus are also loyal supporters of Awami League. So you never know. Like you maybe there was an attack against you, and you are a Hindu, but you are also the organizing secretary of a rural town of Awami League chapter in a rural town. So this is was there any religious motivation? Go and meet these people. We would invite, because if I say that these are all politically motivated attack, like a lot of people say, okay, it is government which is saying it. It's better you come, you go,
see yourself.
You see yourself. We are quite open. We are transparent.
Why don't we be honest? The fact that many Muslims actually protected the Hindu temples and actually guarded the community.
At least the photos are out there.
And they're out there. The testimonies are out there, right? There were reports that during the recent UN gathering in New York, Professor Yunus wanted to meet with Narendra Modi, but he didn't want to meet. Is this the case? Was that the case?
No. We actually, when we landed in New York, he had already left.
Okay.
Left United States.
Okay.
So the schedule didn't meet.
If the schedules did align, would they have met? Do you think?
I think if Professor Yunus has made other South Asian leaders, obviously there would have been any spoke with Indian leader. You have to India is our main neighbors. We share some more than 4,000 kilometers of border with India.
We're pretty much surrounded.
Yes, and we want very good relationship with India, and it has to be based on equity and fairness.
And do you think equity and fairness will be attained?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
And it's good for both nations that we take our relationship to a new, make our relationship better. This is good for both countries. It will calm down tensions in this region.
One of the things I've noticed is that even those who are supportive of the initial anti-quota movement, then the Anti-Discrimination United movement, those who are opposed to Hasina, Chhatri League, Awami League, some are now saying that, okay, well, for how long are there going to be student advisors? What is the main desired reforms of the student advisors? What is it? What do they want? What is the main objective of the likes of Nahid Islam and these guys? Because one of the criticism, and we're not talking about the kind of jingoistic criticism, we're talking about those who were not Awami League, not Chhatri League, none of that, but they're now saying that, well, for how long are you going to be advising? What are the reforms that they are seeking?
It says that they are part of the cabinet, the two guys, Nahid Islam and Asif Mahmood.
Yeah.
So whatever decision is out there, it's a decision is taken by the cabinet, like with these 6 commissions, and we have also added 4 more commissions. These are like what we are doing quite transparent, and they are quite contributing to this. Not that they are like they are putting up any barriers to any of this.
So there's no validity to the argument that they're actually keeping everyone on toe and pressuring and...
No, they are part of the cabinet.
Okay.
Like and they separated themselves from the main and the main the student against the
Anti-discrimination.
Yes, anti-discrimination movement.
Yeah.
They are now part of the government, and the decision is taken by the cabinet led by Professor Muhammad Yunus. And our decision is quite clear, and whenever we are taking decisions, major decision, we are also consulting with all the political parties. We have a very open consultation policy because we thought they are our partners. Let's have a build up a consensus, whatever we do. And it's not that there is no instance, there is no example that anyone can cite that they are the ones who are standing on the way to these reforms, or they are not doing
delaying elections or things like this.
No.
But for how long do you think?
But it's good that we brought them in the cabinet.
Of course,
it's good because they are the ones. They are the face of the regulations. We need to know the desire of the democratic aspiration of the young students, and they represent these people.
Right.
And it's better that their voices are heard in the cabinet. It's good. It's good.
But there's also a case. I agree. But there's also a case of, for how long do you expect the country to be patient with the interim government in the absence of a democratic mandate?
I think if you see the walls in Dhaka city,
They all work.
Yes, artwork. And there is one dominant theme of this artwork is তারা রাষ্ট্রকে মেরামত চায়, which is in Bengali, they want to repair the government. Why? They want us to carry out meaningful and deep reforms, because the whole idea is that if election is held early, maybe in the next 3 months with the existing voter list, this government can easily hold a free and fair election in the next 3 months. But the students, the revolution, that the people, what they want repair of the government, repair of the state. They want meaningful reforms, and that takes time. It doesn't happen, and they know that a political party, they have been cheated by the political parties in the past, and there is this overwhelming fear that if a political party takes over, they will roll back the reforms, or they are not going to carry out the desired the reforms that are desired by the young people, the revolution, who sacrifice their life. That's the main idea. That's why they are they are wasting all their hopes on this government, on this Professor Yunus later. That's why they picked Professor Yunus. They know that he is the kind of person who can unite the whole nations, and he can deliver the reforms.
So are you saying that there is a fear that there could be, if you hasten too quickly towards an election,
Yes.
there could be more of the old stuff but with a new face?
Yes. We have been treated in the past by that. You know, the political settlements after the 1990 ouster of general election.
Yes.
That the political party who hastily adopted Westminster system, and also in addition they adopted the caretaker government system, and that didn't last long. It unraveled in just in 15 years, in 20 years. It unraveled during the second BNP government, and also then Hasina just put it into the grave. It just killed Hasina just killed this caretaker. The whole, and she created a dictatorship, monstrous dictatorship. So if we need a new political settlement where we can get assured that our young boys, whoever is, can vote freely, they can exercise their democratic rights in the next for generation, my son, my grandson, my grandchildren, and there will be democracy here. This kind of political settlement, it needs like a deeper engagement with political party, deeper debates, deeper reforms, and that's what people expect from us. Like, I don't know why some people are saying that we need to hasten the elections. The whole idea is to have a political settlement, like you saw at the American political settlement in the 1770s or 1780s. There is still it gave them 200 years of political settlement. It's a flawed democracy because of they deprived the black people.
Of course.
Yes. But again, it was this political system, they have enduring, it's endured for centuries. And we need this kind of political settlement. It can endure another 100 years, then so that anyone, even my son, your son, I never know, your son may come back and settle in.
Bringing this conversation to a close and talking about reforms, we know that the media has played a very dubious role during the Hasina regime. We know that during the anti-quota protests, there was either outright complicity, co-option, silence. Are there any reforms that we're looking to see in terms of the media? And I'm asking you as a fellow journalist.
Yes. Already what we have done is that we have set up a media reform commission led by a former BBC journalist, BBC Bengali service journalist. He's hugely respected here. I think he's going to...
What's his name?
His name is Kamal Ahmed.
Okay.
And he is mostly based in London, but we have brought him back to Bangladesh. And he is going to, again, the other 6 reform commission, he is going to consult with political parties, journalists, crew.
What are the 6 reform commissions, if you don't mind, for the viewers? What are they?
One is the constitution.
Okay.
Another is judiciary.
Okay.
Another is police. Another is civil administration.
Okay.
Another is anti-corruption commission.
Okay.
And another is election.
Okay.
These are the 6. These are 6 main commission. And then we have added one for health, another for the media. There is another is for the labor reforms. It's a 4 more reform commissions we have rolled out.
Without
but this media reform is quite vital because
very
vital, and we need to Hasina has kill whatever media freedom we had in the past 15 years.
I just got progressively worse. That's what happened.
Yes. We had a vibrant media sector in the post-1990 uprising against Irshad. A lot of new
channels came out,
newspapers came out, then later channels came out, and it's a vibrant industry. But Hasina killed this freedom, and it's it's the intelligence agency would dictate what news you can publish, what TV program you can broadcast, or what you have to they would constantly. They even select the people
who comes onto these shows,
that these people should be there, not these people, and these people should be banned, constant. But when we took over this interim government, we stopped all these things. We said their media freedom is non-negotiable. No way we can.
It can't
be. It can be. And because we need to hear from, because there is no parliament here. So we hope that the media would play a constructive role, try to show us where we are making any mistakes, obviously. And they should play a progressive role. They should engage people to debates, because it's a very crucial time. It's a massive opportunity for the nation to fix its political problems. So we hope that they are the ones who will lead these debates about the kind of political settlement we have. And also, we are, this media commissions is going to look into the existing laws, anti-freedom, have the laws that curb media freedoms. Like they would scrutinize those laws and see whether they are they should be amended or scrapped. They are going to look into these, and also see how some of the deformation issues, like how you will whether we can implement the kind of laws, deformation laws that the West have. Here we don't have this kind of laws, and sometimes these laws are manipulated by the political governments. They use to muzzle dissent. So we have to deeply look into these issues. And other issues are there. Copyright issues is a big problem. You have you do a lot of good journalism, and a lot of people with very shady websites just steal those things, and there is no punishment.
Yeah.
Like, I am stealing your good contents. You are spending millions of dollars
to produce something,
and someone else just snatch it. So these are the quite a lot of issues are there. We want a vibrant and free media here, and that is going to, I think, very essential for our democracy.
Now, let's without mentioning names or channels or newspapers, there were editors who would get a phone call from the intelligence services or a knock on the door just to let them know, right? But there were others that were willingly complicit.
Obviously.
They enjoyed, they agreed, they were part of the regime. How are we going to overcome those? How is there going to be accountability for those publications and also channels?
I think there are two ways we can look at it. One is we encourage, we encourage the media outlets to do their own soul searching. Go and see what you have done. Where you complicit. It's not happening, but we need to talk it louder, because even in the dying days of the dictatorship, when young boys and girls were shot like birds, and some journalists were describing these people as terrorists and miscreants, the kind of language that the Pakistani army would describe the Bangladeshi freedom fighters. So this is during 1971 War of Liberation. This is quite it need to be. And also there are the willing executioners, people who played a huge role to curb media freedom, played they got benefits. There are a lot of ways. If you toe my line, I'll give you a land plots which you can buy at $10,000 and you can sell it at $1 million. I'm making you an outright rich man. If you are influential journalist and you toe my line, and then there are a lot of instances up there.
That is bonkers.
Yes.
That is absolutely bonkers.
Do you want to make a real difference for Palestine? Here's your chance. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? What is your Islam worth if you remain silent in the face of a genocide? Every bombing in Palestine tests your faith. As Muslims, it's our duty to stand against oppression. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ said, "Whoever among you sees evil, let him change it with his hand. If he's unable to do so, then let his tongue speak against it. And the lowest form of Iman is to hate it from within." Right now, our brothers and sisters in Palestine are suffering terrible persecution. 120,000 people have been martyred, 70% of whom were women and children. But what have you done about it? Help make a real change by supporting both aid and advocacy for Palestine. Apart from delivering aid, Human Aid has been advocating for the rights of Palestinians since 2010. Help support Human Aid and advocacy to support real change.
If you were to give a journalist £1,000, okay, but you're giving them Zameen, that's worth so much. I mean, there'll be viewers and listeners thinking this is crazy.
Yeah, this is what happened actually, and a lot of journalists, it's a media industry don't usually pay well.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know how as a genuine journalist.
Some of the journalists start their salaries at $100. This is $100 a month. So
crazy.
there is this, like, even the union leaders, they like acted like very much like a partisan spokesman of the regime, and it's quite shame. They never spoke for the thousands of journalists who are languishing, who are like really finding it tough to like earn a living.
What's your final message to British Bangladeshis who invest a lot to this country, visit the country often? What would your concluding message be to British Bangladeshis, who many of whom would be watching this interview?
I think like they should visit Bangladesh more. They should explore the country. It's an amazing country. We will like even in the 18th centuries, we were one of the dominant economies in the world, and we will. I think if they invest, if they have trust in the people they are from, I think we will one day be a very good, like a very proud nations. You know the Ireland.
Of course.
In the 1850s, 60s, and 70s, there were potato famine, and millions of Irish people migrated to
America.
And like 100 years later, or 120, like 150 years later, Ireland is one of the richest country in the world. Nobody now takes a boat and go and disembarks at the Ellis Island. No way. Like its per capita income is now more than the United States, and one of the richest nations. So I think like we have all the things are there.
All the ingredients are there.
All ingredients are there. Have faith in us.
Let's just hope it doesn't take 150
And also
years.
please take part in the debates.
Yeah.
Please contribute in the debates. We need a proper political settlement. We need a durable political solution. Like we don't want to see that in 10 years or 15 years, this whole thing collapse and then another brutal dictators take over. We want like democracy, a flourishing democracies where every citizen will be heard. Every group will be taken seriously. Every group will say that this is my country, no matter what political persuasion he or she is from. That's like, we want you to contribute in the debate. There are a lot of fantastic, talented British Bangladeshi are there. They are like now slowly I can see they are also like emerging as a key part of the British society.
They are indeed.
And I hope they will play a big role here. They will support us and also help us contribute in the reforms that Professor Yunus led interim government is thinking of implementing.
Shafiqul Bhai, it was an absolute honor.
Thank you, sir.
Thoroughly enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you.
Brothers and sisters and friends, I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Please remember to click subscribe, leave a comment, like this video. You can find this episode on all 3 seasons on all the major audio platforms. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.